Good morning. Welcome to a brand new day, a brand new week, and of course, a brand new month. Yes, we're in the month of August, officially in the last quarter of the year 2021. Wild. I mean, it felt like it was just yesterday we said, Happy New Year, and now, the year is, gradually wrapping up, which is quite amazing, by the way. It's a gloomy day here in Abuja, Nigeria's capital city. I mean, it's been a rainy day. It's been raining since the month of August started, and I'm pretty excited about it because I love rain, of course. It's the conversation on TOS Television Network, your digital first Pan-African news network, and I am Adesu Awasui.
And I am Sagir Ibrahim. Thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Yes, good morning, Sagir, and happy new month to you.
Good morning, Adesu. Happy new month.
Happy new month to you. So it's basically a fresh week and a fresh month and why are you looking at me like I'm a very excited?
Which one is a fresh week, a fresh month, a fresh whatever? Everywhere is wet. It has been raining since yesterday. The weather has been terrible. I'm not happy because it's cold and I don't like cold. Wow. Okay, I like cold. I mean, I prefer cold to heat.
Okay.
But it's too cold now.
Why? It's rain. You should
love. It's just wet. I can't even move about.
Oh.
Why?
Wow.
But I hope the government can see the signs because the Nigeria Geological Services Agency has predicted that there's possibility of flooding in some areas of the country, and this is a very good sign that okay, look, the rains are ready and they are coming. Well, it's been raining for give or take 48 hours now, 2 days straight. So I hope the government is putting plans in place to ensure that they mitigate and try to prevent the flood from happening, or by opening gutters, drainage systems, canals, clean them up to ensure a smooth passage of the excess water that we are going to be experiencing and getting from the rain that will be falling. You understand? So I hope they are prepared, because I mean, prevention is better than cure. We see it every year. We see different states of the countries dislodged every year, be it in the northwest, be it in the north central here, and sometimes even in the southern region of the country, as a result of ill preparation for a flood that was predicted by the Nigeria Geological Services Agency, the agency responsible for predicting flood in Nigeria.
Okay.
So I hope these signs, they've seen the signs and they're getting prepared for it. It's not the one that they will now come and be saying the National Emergency Management Agency is donating mattresses to victims of flood when the signs are already
well, I mean, we cannot blame, in as much as I totally agree with you, and I understand everything you're saying, and it's going to be really terrible if we cannot put all of those measures in place to ensure that we do not have victims of flood and displaced people. But we cannot blame that on the rain. I mean, it's rain and I love rain, so we can't blame that on the rain.
We can't blame that on the rain, but it has been predicted that this rain is likely to cause havoc. So what are you supposed to do as a responsible government? Ensure that things are in place to prevent such havoc.
Okay, with that, we'll bring you the morning motivation. Yes, morning motivation with our quote of the day. And after that, we'll be looking at happening stories and developments from across Africa.
Always remember,
this man I have creative design. We really like it, but
you deserve a break. You can indulge in a cup of 3-in-1 Cadbury Hot Chocolate. Cadbury Hot Chocolate. Indulge. Now available in the 450 grams pouch.
All right, let's go over to Mali, where the Prime Minister Chogo Maiga on Friday said Mali's transitional government is conscious of its commitment to a fixed deadline for arranging elections that will restore its democracy after last year's coup. Political factions in Mali and foreign partners have been watching to see if the military-led interim authorities will stick to a promise to hold elections within 18 months since the junta that toppled President Ibrahim Boubacar Keïta in August 2020.
I also hope that they stick to the timeline of holding the elections in 18 months, because it's just unfortunate what we see happening there. We see prime ministers being appointed and being sacked by the self-acclaimed vice president or prime minister of Mali. So I just hope I hope everything is set and the country is returned to democracy soonest. Okay, we'll come back here to Nigeria, where the Kaduna State government has filed fresh charges against the embattled leader of the proscribed Islamic movement in Nigeria, IMN, Sheikh Ibrahim El-Zakzaki. The lead prosecution counsel, Dari Bayero, said the fresh charges border on terrorism and treasonable felony.
Wait,
So
I thought he had been acquitted of,
yes,
similar charges and all of that.
Exactly a week after he was acquitted by a court in same
Kaduna State.
So, well, I don't know why they had to wait until he was discharged and acquitted before coming up with these charges. I mean, why didn't they just add all of this to his charge sheet and let him know that he's answering for all of these allegations, and let them be treated once and for all? Because it's really suspicious to see him being charged to court just a week after he was acquitted. It's looking like there's a foul play, or there's a deliberate plan to ensure that he remains in detention.
Yes, exactly. All right, still in Nigeria, the Imo State Police Command disclosed that its operatives had killed 2 bandits during gun duel in Njaba local government area on Saturday. The Commissioner of Police, Abu Tuyaru, confirmed this in a statement signed by the command's spokesman, CSP Mike Abatam.
You see, for me, I feel celebrating minor wins at this point is really not something the Nigerian police should be doing. What preventive measures have been put in place to ensure that the said bandits, when they're about to strike, are truncated midway or even before the planned attacks take place? That is what we should be looking at doing and celebrating if it happens.
But I wouldn't really say that they are celebrating, in as much as it might look, similar story, it might look that way, that, oh, we killed 2 bandits. I think it's just another way to allay the fears of citizens and say, look, we're doing something about this. We have this under check. So there was a gun, this was happening, and then we're able to do this. We're able to, kill 2 of the bandits and all of that. Just to say, we're not resting, we're working, and we see what's going on, and then we're acting on it. I think that's what this is about.
Well, if this was the beginning of all these bandits and unknown gunmen brouhaha, I would have agreed with you. However, I can't agree with that, because this isn't the first time we have seen the Nigerian Armed Forces in general, be it the Nigerian Army, Navy, Air Force, or the Nigerian Police, coming out to say, look, we neutralized so and so number of bandits or terrorists in so and so region. We have rendered them, we have incapacitated them, and they will not be able to perform their functions as they used to. They will not be able to cause havoc, or they will not be able to attack communities like they used to. And at the end of the day, what do we see? We end up hearing a bomb blast somewhere that claimed casualties in tens. We hear that an attack on the community has led to the loss of lives of close to 75 people. Or we hear a number of close to over 100 or more than 100 pupils or students were abducted from their schools. So telling me that 2 people were killed or 2 bandits were eliminated and neutralized might not be good news to me, because of the antecedents that they've had. So perhaps if this was when it started, I would have said this is worth celebrating. But to me, I'm sorry, they need to step up.
All right, just have a little faith, that's all. Okay, we'll bring you, COVID-19 updates from across Africa right about now. And after that, we'll be looking at front pages of Nigerian dailies this morning.
TV Network mobile app is now available. You can now catch up on our breaking news, stream our programs live, watch out for the latest update on sports and politics as they unfold. You can also get notifications for our upcoming programs and events. All these on our TOS TV Network mobile app, available on Apple Store and Google Play Store. TOS TV News from Africa by Africans.
Being a journalist means in-depth analysis that unravels hidden truths, that question the status quo and fact-checks government.
These criminal elements hiding under the cloak of surveillance contractors are the APC elements.
Do you have facts to prove that? Being a journalist means waking up every day with a burning desire for peace, equity, and justice for all citizens.
We're being told that the choice you have is to take the lesser of two evils.
It means patriotism via the prism of objectivity and accountability. It means giving my platform to the masses to discuss issues that matter to them.
Some of them, if they bring budget and the budget they look, some of them sleep. They're going to ask how much you are on. I have it.
Thereby shaping government policies and laws. My name is Osasu Igbeneja, and I am the People's Journalist.
You're still watching The Conversation on your digital first Pan-African News Network, TOS Television. And you can be part of the conversation by connecting with us on our various social media platforms and our website, as well as our YouTube page, with the details currently showing on your screen. It is the newspaper segment of The Conversation, and we'll start this morning with the Business Day newspaper. We'll start with the banner headline there, which states, Nigeria's economic growth still far from reducing poverty. EIUC's growth per head rising for the first time in 7 years. Underneath the picture of the day there, we see how to make money with your smartphone. Urban poverty shows Nigerians need social security, jobs. Cement companies bounce back from COVID downturn. And that's it for the Business Day newspaper.
Looking at the front page of the Daily Times newspaper today, starting with the banner headline there. Again, resident doctors begin nationwide strike today. Lagos government urges NARD to shelve strike. That story is continued on page 2. Underneath the picture of the day, bandits dare federal government, Kaduna government, that's also on page 2. On politics, APC ward Congress in nullity, that's coming from the PDP. And on business, commercial banks assure customers of smooth forex transactions. That story is on page 18. And the last headline on the Daily Times newspaper this morning, FBI indictment, PSC okays suspension of DCP Abba Kyari.
Yes, extending on the suspension of Abba Kyari, we see on the Blueprint newspaper, hush puppy FBI indictment, anxiety as PSC suspends Kyari DIG heads pro panel. A couple of writers underneath. Mieti Allah tackles Northern elders over silence, accuses FBI of conniving with Southern leaders. Nothing should happen to Kyari, Arewa youths warn. And from the very top of the Blueprint newspaper, still we see 11 killed in Plateau crisis, 50 houses razed. Underneath that, we see Zamfara police rescued 2 abducted students, and that could be found on page 5 of the Blueprint newspaper. And to the extreme left, to the extreme right, I beg your pardon, Blueprint's head office now at 59 Moses A. Majekudumi Crescent. That's the new Blueprint address. NNPC rakes in 234.63 billion naira from petroleum sale March, and that could be found on page 24 of the Blueprint newspaper. There are a couple of other headlines on the Blueprint newspaper. You could simply grab a copy to keep updated.
All right, the Daily Trust newspaper this morning, the first headline that says APC to expel bigwigs over parallel congresses in Kwara, Kano, Lagos and others. Cargo haulage cost falls by 70% in 1 month over low import. Students worry as federal government meets ASU over fresh strike threat. The banner headline there is on Ali Kachala, and it says, unveiling the Zamfara terror kingpin who downed NAF jet. 3 riders underneath that headline. The first one, his rise and exploits treats them as terrorists. That's coming from experts. How they can be tackled. That's coming from security analysts. And underneath the picture of the day, hush puppy. Police begin probe, suspend Kyari. Federal government refund 620 billion naira to states for federal roads in 3 years. That's from a minister. Pharmacists Council seals 348 illegal premises in Edo, and the last headline says Presidency to Lamido reveal how Turkey surrendered governorship tickets to you.
We move over to the Nigerian News Direct newspaper, which is indeed the last newspaper on the newspaper segment this morning. From the very top, we see NNPC records a petroleum product sale of 234.63 billion in March. Ebenezer Onyago calls for increased impact, improved investment for Africa at Global Summit. 2021 half-year results, revenue of Transcorp hotels rise by 84% in second quarter. That could be found on page 3 of the Nigerian News Direct newspaper. For the gaping headline there, we see indictment, FG should hand over Abakari to FBI, and that's by the PDP. 2 riders there, IG order suspension, set up 4-man special investigation panel. AGF possesses exclusive rights to oblige extradition request, and that's by Ozekome. Underneath that, we see Heritage Bank GTCO, others assure customers of easy access to FX transactions. Surplus grows half-year profit before deferred tax by 142.7%, and that could be found on page 3 of the Nigerian News Direct newspaper. A couple of other headlines there on the Nigerian News Direct newspaper this morning. You could grab a copy to keep updated, and by extension, that would be the end of the newspaper segment of the conversation this morning. We'll go on a quick break now, and when we return, we'll be bringing you the big story.
You won't go shake your body. Instead, they make it calm down. If the farm say it's happy, you want to grow 6 packs in a day. I beg you not to pass your power. You want to show yourself, oh.
Whatever your size, find it with the new Airtel data plans. Dial *141# now to get the plan that suits you. Airtel, the smartphone.
At the first sign of pain, you need a solution that you can trust to provide effective relief and is gentle on the stomach. Try Panadol Caplets for relief from headaches, body aches, and fever. With Panadol's Optizorb formula, the tablet gently breaks down in the stomach, quickly absorbs, and starts providing pain relief in 15 minutes. For fast and effective pain relief that you can trust, try Panadol Caplets. This has been Medifact for Panadol.
All right, it's still the conversation on your digital first Pan-African News Network, that's TOS Television, and it's time for the big story. Today on the big story, we'll be looking at attacks in Plateau State and the security situation of Nigeria. Joining us to discuss this issue over the phone is Comrade Waheed Saka, a public affairs analyst. Good morning, Comrade Waheed.
Good morning, Analyst. Thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you for joining us on the show. Moving straight into, the question. So over the weekend, there were attacks in 2 villages, that's Zanwa and in Chetahu in Plateau State, which led to the killing of some persons and destruction of hundreds of properties. So what do you make of all the recent attacks in the last couple of months in the north-central part of Nigeria?
What I mean of that attacks in recent time is that the security failed the people. The government is failing them on a daily basis. We cannot be living on borrowed time. As if some people can come just like a thief in the night and kill as many people as possible. The reality of the North Center today is that killings has become a day-to-day business. Just like people say. We must all of the security to intensify all efforts. Actually, since 1999, Plateau State has become a hotbed of small killings and maiming and arson in the North Central Zone. And If this thing continue, people will resort to several, and that may turn to a total breakdown of the law in the non-federal zone. But this is not peculiar to Plateau or not federal zone. Killings has become a Nigerian thing.
Wow.
And we must find a lasting solution to it. Because the process, the current crisis is a process, as a process. It was small and it become a national thing. Now we must set in motion a process to actually curb the insecurity across the country.
Okay, so the former minister of the FCT, that's Lieutenant General Jeremiah Husseini, said that farmers in the country should defend themselves and their crops. That's, following the renewed killings and destruction of crops in parts of North Central by bandits. Do you actually agree with that statement?
I didn't hear you well.
Do you agree with the statement by the former, minister of the FCT that farmers, should defend themselves, against bandits following the spate of killings?
What the minister of FCT, or the former minister called for, was actually an anarchy. We cannot do that part.
Why?
Because two wrongs will never make a right. We should allow our law enforcement to do their job. And when they are failing, we should remove the head of that place and revitalize the security apparatus there. If the police cannot undo it, we should allow other security agencies to help them out. But to call for self-help is a complete anarchy, and the country cannot afford that. So we need a revitalization of security apparatus in North Central and by extension across the country. If in a state, if there is a crisis in a state, we should call the commissioner of police of that state to order. If the commissioner of police cannot do it, you remove him and put a competent officer. Are we saying we don't have competent officer in Nigerian police again? So the reality is we still have men of immense goodwill and intelligence to actually unravel the security crisis across the country.
Okay.
We must not throw away the baby with the bathwater and say that their police are useless. They are still the only help that we need. They are when they say that the police is our friend. It doesn't mean that they are our friends per se, but we have limited options. They still remain our go-to guy when there is issue of insecurity. So we should allow them to work this thing out and give them the necessary support. There is no police that can work without information. Our people should give them information because that is the only option that we have at the moment.
Okay.
Okay. Comr, can you hear me, sir?
I don't think I could hear you. So basically, you said that we need to, trust in the competency of the police force, even though lots of Nigerians would not agree with you on that one. And I know that there have been, changes, changing service chiefs, head of service chiefs and all of that, and we're still having the same issue. So what do you think is a lasting solution to all of this? Because as I said, lots of Nigerians have lost faith in our security forces. So what do you think is a lasting solution?
The lasting solution is heading for our people. Security by all. We serve as a shield for all. Our people should not leave it to them alone. At all levels of our endeavor, we must encourage our people to get involved in their own security. Not as anarchists, but as informants, as a strategist, as a friend of security. Because the people will only act when they know they are taking ownership of anything. Our people must take ownership of their security. It's not alone that the IGP appoints somebody. If our people are not in support and give absolute support to such a person as the secret of the state, we'll continue to have insecurity in that state. And also, in the other region, every people of goodwill in other regions will rise up against the issue of drug abuse. In our own area, when I was growing up, my father would tell me if anybody attack another person with cutlass, they would say, Literally, has it taken too much help? Because ordinary people without help, without drugs, cannot actually kill people.
So you think drug abuse is intertwined with banditry and terrorism in Nigeria?
It is actually a major influence of insecurity in Nigeria. The rate of drugs taken in the northern region and by central Nigeria is alarming. And this has a major effect on whatever crisis that we are facing as a nation. Every people of goodwill will rise up against it and fight drugs. By fighting drugs, we are minimizing the issue of insecurity by 50%.
Okay.
So this is the only way to actually curb insecurity across the country. Okay. And thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you so much, Comrade, for joining us on the conversation this morning. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And thank you for staying with us on the conversation this morning. As I always say, the conversation will be back here tomorrow. That means you should join us same time, same station tomorrow. But before then, follow TOS TV Network across all social media platforms. That's TOS TV Network on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And of course, subscribe to TOS TV Network on YouTube so you do not miss out on amazing content that we have lined up for you. You can also stream the conversation on other programs on www.tostvnetwork.com. My name is Ade Suwaosui.
And I am Sagir Ibrahim. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe and we'll see you tomorrow.